Hello and welcome to Unleashed with Kimberly, a conversation for insight and intelligence. I'm here with the amazing Keisha Puckett, who is the founder owner of KP Media TV and the creative director of Pink Icing. Yay!
Woohoo! Thanks for having me, Kimberly.
Yay.
Hello, everyone.
I'm excited you're here. You have such an unique person. You've done so many different types of businesses. Let's just talk about first Pink and then go into KP Media and then we'll backtrack.
I know, right? It's almost like, well, I don't forget about Pink Icing because that's like my baby. That was the one. I think, no, we met before Pink Icing, Kimberly, before I launched. I saw that there was a need to provide a solution with an ongoing issue. And the ongoing issue was for content creators, specifically, really anyone that's sharing any type of content in the digital space, the online space, through platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are. That is really truly our audience in our market. And what we found was like visibility was always an issue. Monetization was always an issue. Everybody's trying to hit a threshold on certain platforms to get monetized or trying to be seen in order for their products, their brand, their services, whatever it is that they have going on, have more traction in their business, their cause, or whatever they're doing. So that gave me an opportunity to create the pandemic. I mean, I saw that as well, but I go, you know what? If there is a sea of problems, there's also tons of opportunity. And I was looking for, okay, what is going to be the opportunity that I have in the space that I'm in with my expertise? What can I provide, of value in this time where it truly is, filling a gap, really creating something. And that kind of was like therapeutic and everything else too. So that I just look at it differently. Like if there's a sea of problems, that means there's tons of opportunities right there and tons of million dollar and billion dollar opportunities. Let me just go ahead and say that.
Yeah. Woo! I love this. So, okay. You said something that
I started at 19 as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship definitely was something that I was interested in early on in high school. That's really where it started. 19, I was in the beauty industry, started from there, pretty much entrepreneurial. When you really think about it, it wasn't a clock in 9 to 5, get a check at the end of the week kind of thing. Went in from that, start getting creative again. Like what else is out there? 23. I end up entering my first licensing deal with a restaurant chain. And I stepped into that for the very first time in the restaurant industry. Let me just tell you how bananas I am. Had absolutely no experience in restaurant business, right? None. That is how, I'm like, if you're going to live this life, live it right? Whatever. And that was my thing. It's like whatever it is that I wanted to try, I wanted to experience, whatever I wanted to create, I'm not afraid to create it. I'm not afraid to experience it. So I'm very much so adventurous when it comes to trying things in business. Now, you can't get me on a roller coaster at Magic Mountain, but when it comes to business, it's different. It's different. So I truly, Kimberly, just anything that I wanted to step my foot in and experience, I did it. And I did it with 2 feet. And I did it really confident in myself and my ability at those. So I cover I have a wide array of things that I've touched, that I've personally touched and been into. And so that's what's helped me today, because what I do today in marketing, media, and TV, I understand marketing, I understand advertising. I even have a personal relationship with specific industries. So I know how to speak to that. I know how to position them. I know what things they should be looking out for. So it's helpful when you have a community and network that really is all about community and value and how to properly position yourself for your goals in order to increase in whatever it is that you want to do. Right.
On both sides, the marketing and the network. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's amazing. What do you how do you help people or coach people in their businesses at this point? Like we're in the second quarter of the year where people could be like really gearing up or like
going crazy and there's tons of different things. We're like more than that. That's just the tool in the vehicle we use here in this space. This is just a tool of the vehicle. There's so much more to it because what I found, this is just not enough. You need to have support. You need to have community. You need to have people like Kimberly, like you mentioned, to bounce ideas off of. And when you're creating content like social media or on YouTube channels, you're in a silo. Like, you do your thing. If you have a team and you're able, or if you're paying for consulting or coaching on the outside of what you're doing, to big network, or you're trying to do independent and, roll out private label products, whatever that is, whatever success looks like for you, that's what you can work toward. And, that's in a matter of months. And you see what I'm saying? So it's like, that's kind of the thing that community does. And, you have that, and then you have the success stories of people that came in where their goal was to monetize. Like, some people came in where their goal was actually to monetize, whether they look for the chance to position in a different way, to communicate it in a different way. Like, when you hear me communicating about this, I'm not going to stay in a vein of a sales pitch. I'm going to tell you how it solves it. I'm going to tell you how to spin it around, put it upside down, how to look at it differently, how to position it on a different lane and a different track. And that's what it is. It's like taking you off the track of what you've known already and what you've experienced in social media, and putting you on this other track, this different way of thinking. And so that's kind of what we do, and we encourage that. And so we see other things birthed because of kind of how we set you up on the foundational parts of it.
Wow. There's so many moving pieces to this.
Yes.
It's incredible, the support within the network.
Yes.
You've created, built. I love it, Keisha. It's amazing what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
18, coming into 19, that's when it was launched. And less than a year later, I already had a team. And so it wasn't 2 years, 5 years, 10 years later, right? Because sometimes when you hear these stories about, growing the business and this, that, and the other, that you have to wait years until you get to this milestone and that. Now, a lot of that did come because even though it was a new business at the time, I wasn't new to the business, right? And so I do want to say that. And all of us have this space of brilliant tasks that you should not be doing, like things that are just taking a bunch of your time doing, that's just like mundane over and over, that has to still be done, but really is not a good use of your time, because you full time. And then once that's done, see, each time they don't, it doesn't make sense. Everybody needs to be producing revenues, or indirectly.
I love that. Such good wisdom right there, Keisha. I love it.
Yes.
How would you recommend, because there's so many different things. I mean, you could throw a post on Facebook and get like, oh, I'm a VA. How do you?
I know.
How do you narrow down how would you recommend people narrow down who that person is going to be for them?
Well, I'm like, they're not so much subscription, but there's places or websites that you can go to take a look at different profiles. That's going to be more of a process of really weeding through the resumes, looking at the background checks, doing your interviews. So I can talk a little bit about that, of how you kind of dig in and try to get the best kind of setup as far as the best person for the job. But that's also another option. And when you do something overseas, you can get VAs, like we can talk about specifically the Philippines. You can get VAs there for about $4 to $5 per hour. Jobs.ph. And if you find the task too daunting and you just really don't know like how to distinguish who is guaranteed, I think up to 30 days, if they don't work out, they'll switch them out. So that, I know that went on, but I know that's some good information, because we get a lot of people trying to figure out the whole VA thing, especially when you're trying to do overseas stuff and all that. And some are like scared about it or have a bad experience. But those are just some takeaways that we found work really well.
No, I think that was so good.
Yeah. You can always, start there. And then once you grow to a certain level, then you have your US based as well. You may decide to keep your overseas VA as well. A lot of them are incredible. And it's just, impacts the work that they do for you. If they don't have proper equipment, or if they don't have proper internet and it's not always up, it's going to be reliable. This is the only way that you're able to connect with them. That's going to be really important to make sure that they have that. The other thing is the first thing that they're looking for is to trust you. So really, you know how it's almost the reverse. So when they're hired by you, like you're like, oh my gosh, this is the perfect candidate. You know, she's gonna do or he's gonna do this, that, and the other. It's almost like a live interview with you. And like, are you someone that they can trust? Are you someone that's going to pay them? So that's what's happening on for a little bit. And a little bit, I would say if you can have about 2 to 3 different back and forths going on with them, asking them questions, maybe, hey, can you show me some work that you did for this? Or, you know, now that's a little bit tricky too, because with the work part, which is why the trial week is important. Let's just say, for example, you wanted to hire a website person. You can say as part of your back and forth, like, oh, let me see your work. It also has happened where people will showcase other people's portfolio and it's actually not their work. And so that happens. And so that's why you can do that to kind of like, you know, to keep that dialogue going. But during your trial week and that test, just know that you'll need to confirm that this person is able to do the work that they said they can do by the project that you give them during that trial, that paid trial week.
Doubt it, but there's always that possibility. And maybe they're not resonating and doing what you need them to do.
Right.
So it makes
so
much sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it can flop. And then here's like I had one of our newer VAs, she was like, oh my gosh, I just love my employer. And she had like this whole thing, like, I love my employer and I love my team and she in your team where people are showing up and taking authority and like taking ownership of like, maybe we should do this. And their idea is actually better than your idea because they are so ahead about what you want because they've studied it. Like you've hit it in there. It was like, so, and it was a good problem to have because we had tons of clients and different things, and then clients were kind of just, and it was something. And so it was scary. It was very scary and it scared off a VA in the past. And so learn from me, just give them a little bit at a time when they're being out there and you can give them the login and that can do those offerings. kpmedia.tv is most of our focus is there as far as helping entrepreneurs, content creators, business owners like yourself come into a visual space like this and monetize and do different things as far as and you can DM me there. We can start a conversation at least there. I can share a link of how to kind of dig into more of the KP Media TV stuff. Or if you're interested in the marketing agency stuff, I can share there as well. But thank you, Kimberly.
You are so welcome. And I have my free Unleash Your Inner Goddess interview series going on right now. It launches May 1st. So you can jump on and go to Goddess Summit 2021. And it's free, 21 days, 21 goddesses, 21 free gifts. You don't want to miss that. And Keisha, you are amazing. Thank you so much for all that you do for everybody and for our incredible KP Media TV network. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.